Good afternoon, everyone. This is Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and we are here to talk about Congo. So we have a couple of interesting subjects that I was thinking about recently, and it deals with what's the biggest needs or the top three needs for the Congo. What would those be? And also three things that I really like about the Congo and why do I like them? So we will get into those right now. And I even have a list. The list could be real long. I started to make a top 10 list, but I decided at the last minute it wasn't necessary to do a top 10 list, but it was, but we will see how it works out. So first we want to talk about those things that I think that Congo really needs that really uh, would help them out become a more developed nation. Uh, these are the things that we used to sit back when we first went to Congo. We used to sit out at night, look at the stars, and think, what would we need? One of the first things that we thought about was they needed roads. They needed roads for both public transportation and also for commercial transportation. The roads are really bad in Congo. Congo was making a stride towards improving the roads at one time, but the road has deteriorated because they were made out of dirt and some hardened material. But as you know, when it rains, which it rains quite frequently in the Congo, you have trucks coming through making ruts in them, and they are back to the before that they were really improved. So it's hard to travel. It takes, weeks to go places, and it's just impossible to go places like from, say, Chikapa to Kinshasa. Even though half the road is paved, you that other part that's unpaved will take you maybe a week to get through. The second thing is the rail system. Uh, Congo only has probably about two rail systems that goes. One goes from Lubumbashi up to through Kananga up to Ilebo, and those were built by the Belgians when they were shipping stuff out. Because once you get up to Ilebo, you're on the river, and you can start using river transportation at that point in time. So the river is still used as a transportation medium, but getting to the river from the interior is very difficult. So they really need to get the rail system and expand that rail system out into other places that would could be used to transport people and also goods and things. So the railway system that they have is inadequate, and they need to get that out into other different areas. So those are two of the things. Both of them deal with transportation. So what do you think would be my third thing? The third thing I think that they really need is a power grid. There's no central power being generated except in some of the larger cities like Kinshasa and also over in Kisangani. But there are a lot of other cities do not have an adequate uh, power grid. And we all know that most things now, electricity, you need electricity for refrigeration, personal refrigeration, coal houses, you need electricity for run machinery, um, all those type things. So right behind roads, you need electricity. So which one of those things would come first? Well, both of them are kind of long-term things. So if I had to bet on which one I would put in first, I would probably put in the roads because you're going to have roads, a decent road system, a rail system to get in the equipment to expand the power grid. So those are the three things that I think that Congo really needs to work on to improve itself. So, what are some of the likes that I like about them? And each one of them, there is kind of like the current situation now. One of the things I like about Congo is you got a lot of the family is really together. However, once you put in roads and a means of getting around, I think that you will see less families staying together. You'll start seeing people like here in the United States. There's nothing to get away from your family. You can move to different places, but with a good rail system and transportation system, a road system, you can always go back to visit people that you left. And so therefore, that may, with our need of having a rail system and a uh, road system, will probably eliminate some of the closeness that families have today. So what's something else? I like the fresh foods. Fresh foods are good for you. The fresh vegetables, fresh meats, everything is fresh. Nothing is, unless you buy it out of a few stores. Most of the vegetables that you have is already always fresh, uh, just out of the garden. They're not canned, even though in some of the larger cities you can buy canned goods and stuff like that. But most when you're out in the countryside, everything is alive, growing in your garden. You pick it out of your garden. It's growing. Chickens running around, pigs running around, and that's what you have for fresh food. So therefore, they don't have the different processing steroids or whatever they put in them to preserve them. Plus, they have less sodium content and all that kind of stuff, which is all good for you. But as you see, as things start developing, that also may go away because people will start looking at the convenience of, oh, I can have this and I can do other things, and so I don't have to go out to the field to get food or bring that in. I can just have cans of peas and whatever you may want to have, and so those will be also available. And the last thing is just the whole idea of things quieting down at night. It's amazing. We used to joke about and me coming from a small town, we always said that at certain times when it gets dark, uh, even though we had electricity, but the streets roll up. And you have that in Congo now. When it gets dark, there's nobody on the streets, nobody was walking around. So it'll be interesting and maybe another detriment if we got electricity where you had street lights and street lamps and things to do at night, whether there would be more people would be home with their families and those time periods. So at that, that's kind of like one of those two-edged swords. If we get to this development, it's definitely going to change the country. Some things it's going to change for good, and some things it's going to change for the bad. So it's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, we want the electricity, we want good roads, we want good rail system, and everything stay the same. Probably it won't stay the same, but I think from my standpoint that getting these rail system, road system, and electricity everywhere, it will not be an overwhelming negative thing. It will be more positive than negative. So those are what I have on my list of things that if I was king for the day, that I would instantly wave the wand and have in the Congo. So I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and this has been Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands. And who knows, one day we will see whether Congo lives up to those things. But until then, we'll keep hoping and praying. So take care, be safe, and be blessed. Come on, you should.